One night, a man walked alone through the streets of Rome. He had spent years trying to build a stable life. He had responsibilities, people depending on him, dreams he still wanted to achieve. But inside, he was exhausted. His mind never rested. He worried about money, about the future, about everything that could go wrong, about everything he still had not achieved. And even though nobody noticed, he felt like he was losing the battle against himself. Then he arrived at a silent temple. He sat down, took a deep breath, and remembered words he had once read from Marcus Aurelius: the tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say, or think, or do. At that moment, he understood something that would change his life forever. He did not need to rush faster. He did not need to control everything. He did not need to destroy his peace in order to accomplish great things. He needed to learn how to act without losing his calm. And that is exactly what the Stoics taught. For more than 2,000 years, Stoic philosophers faced war, loss, pressure, betrayal, failure, and uncertainty without becoming prisoners of fear. Not because life was easy, but because they mastered their minds while pursuing their goals. In this video, you will discover powerful Stoic lessons that can help you achieve your goals without anxiety, without emotional chaos, and without losing your inner peace. Because true power is not loud, it is calm. Take a deep breath, slow down your mind, and let's begin. 1. They never confused urgency with importance. Most people live trapped in constant urgency. Everything feels like an emergency. Everything feels immediate. Everything feels critical. And little by little, the mind enters survival mode. But the Stoics understood something important. A desperate mind makes poor decisions. Seneca said, "He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary." Think about someone trying to build a business. They constantly check their phone, compare themselves to others, obsess over results, panic when things move slowly. And that anxiety slowly destroys their clarity. Now imagine another person. They also have big goals. They work hard. They stay disciplined. But they understand that meaningful things take time. They do not emotionally collapse every time something goes wrong. They simply continue moving forward calmly. The Stoics never chased success through panic. They pursued it through inner stability. And that changes everything. 2. They focused only on what they could control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Most people waste enormous amounts of mental energy trying to control things they never truly can. Other people's opinions, the future, outcomes, external circumstances, and the more they try to control the uncontrollable, the more anxiety they create. The Stoics did the opposite. They focused only on their actions, their discipline, their attitude, and their decisions. Imagine two people preparing for an important presentation. The first thinks, "What if I fail? What if they judge me? What if I embarrass myself?" The second thinks, "I will prepare as best as I can and accept whatever happens." Same situation, different peace of mind, because the moment you stop fighting reality, your mind finally begins to rest. 3. They did not let emotions control their decisions. The Stoics did not suppress emotions. They understood them. They knew fear, anger, and sadness are part of being human. But they also knew that emotional reactions destroy clarity. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Think about someone receiving criticism. They can react emotionally, lose control, damage relationships, and make things worse. Or they can pause, breathe, and respond with intelligence. That is the difference. Calmness does not mean absence of emotion. It means emotion does not control your life. And in a world where most people react impulsively, calmness becomes power. 4. They understood that pain builds strength. Modern culture teaches people to avoid discomfort at all costs, but Stoicism teaches something different. Difficulty is not always punishment. Sometimes it is training. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The obstacle is the way," meaning the challenge itself becomes part of your growth. Think about someone experiencing failure. They can collapse mentally or use the experience to develop patience, wisdom, and emotional resilience. Life is not always attacking you. Sometimes it is preparing you. The strongest people are rarely created through comfort. They are shaped through pressure, pain, loss, and adversity. The Stoics understood this deeply, and because of that, they stopped fearing hard times. 5. They took action. Even when fear was present, fear stops millions of people from living fully. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of embarrassment, fear of not being enough, and many dreams die before they are ever attempted. But the Stoics understood something powerful. Confidence comes after action, not before it. Seneca said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." The Stoics did not wait to feel perfectly ready. They acted despite uncertainty. Imagine someone wanting to change their life. Maybe they want to start a business, speak publicly, create something meaningful, start over. If they wait until they feel no fear, they may never move. But once they act, something changes internally. The fear slowly loses power, and the mind begins to understand, I can handle more than I thought. That is how courage grows, not by avoiding fear, but by moving through it calmly. 6. They protected their inner peace carefully. The Stoics understood that mental energy is precious. That is why they were extremely careful about the people, the conversations, the environments, and the thoughts they allowed into their minds. Today, the world is full of noise, negative news, constant comparison, endless opinions, social media designed to trigger emotions, and many people become mentally exhausted without understanding why. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." That sentence changes everything, because the quality of your mind determines the quality of your life. The Stoics protected their peace like something sacred. They did not argue with everyone. They did not react to every insult. They did not need constant validation. They knew how to walk away from unnecessary chaos. And honestly, that ability is rare today. 7. They moved slowly, but never stopped. Most people quit because they expect immediate transformation. They want quick results, instant success, rapid recognition. But the Stoics understood something deeper. Real growth happens slowly, like a tree growing, like a mountain forming over centuries. Seneca said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." The Stoics were not obsessed with appearing successful quickly. They were obsessed with becoming stronger daily. A slightly better decision, a calmer reaction, a stronger mindset, a wiser perspective. That was enough. And over time, those small improvements transformed their entire lives. Most people fail because they stop too early. But those who learn to progress calmly eventually go farther than everyone else. 8. They knew true. Victory is internal. Modern society teaches that success means money, status, attention, recognition, power. But the Stoics had a different definition. For them, true victory meant mastering yourself, being able to remain calm under pressure, being able to think clearly during chaos, being able to maintain peace in difficult moments, because conquering the world means nothing if your own mind is constantly at war. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful men in history, still wrote daily reminders about humility, calmness, and emotional discipline. That says everything. Even with power, wealth, and influence, he understood that the greatest battle still existed within himself. And maybe that is the most important lesson of all. You do not need to sacrifice your peace to accomplish meaningful things. You can grow, build, work, and succeed without destroying yourself mentally. In fact, the Stoics believed calmness itself creates better decisions, because a peaceful mind sees clearly, and a clear mind can build an extraordinary life. So the next time you feel pressure, anxiety, or desperation to move faster, remember this: calmness is not weakness, it is power, and perhaps one of the strongest forms of power that exists. If something you heard today resonated with you, there is more wisdom here every week. Walk this path with us.